Welcome children of class 10. Today children we are going to study in chemistry chapter number 4, analytical chemistry, units of ammonium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide. So children, the syllabus for this chapter we are going to study is action of ammonium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide on solution of salts, color of salts and its solution, formation and color of hydroxide precipitated for solutions of salt of calcium, iron, copper, zinc and lead, special action of ammonium hydroxide on solution of copper salt and sodium hydroxide on ammonium salt. So on solution salt, color of salt and its solution, action of salt on sodium hydroxide to solutions of calcium, iron, copper, zinc and lead, salt, drop by drop and in excess. Formation and color of hydroxide precipitated to be highlighted with the help of equations. Action on addition of ammonium hydroxide to solutions of calcium, iron, copper, zinc and lead, salts drop by drop in excess. Formation and color of hydroxide precipitated to be highlighted with the help of equation. Then special action of ammonium hydroxide on solution of copper salt and sodium hydroxide on ammonium salt. Then second is action of alkalis, that is NaOH and QH on certain metal and their oxides and hydroxide. The metal must include aluminium, zinc and lead, their oxides and hydroxides which react with caustic alkalis, that is NaOH, KOH, showing the amphoteric nature of these substances. Now children, these are the contents of this chapter. Now introduction. Now children, determination of a chemical component in a given sample is called analysis. Basically we have to find out what is the components which are present in a compound, that is called analysis. Basically we are talking about the practical chemistry. In chemistry, study of two types of analysis is done. First is qualitative analysis, which involves the identification of the unknown substances, and the second is quantitative analysis, which involves the determination of composition of a mixture. Qualitative analysis, that is identification of an unknown substance, is done by carrying out chemical tests with the help of reagents. Children, a reagent is a substance that reacts with another substance. So in the chemistry lab we work with reagents, and these reagents are substances which reacts with another substances. Alkalis are important laboratory reagents, and when they are added to certain salt solution, characteristic colored precipitates of metallic hydroxides are formed, thus a metal ion is identified. Now children, colors of the salts and their solution. The salt of representative elements of the periodic table, that is the elements of group 1, 2 and 13 to 17 are generally colorless, while those of transition elements, that is salts of elements of group 3 to 12, are generally colored. And different colors of colored salts help in their identification during qualitative analysis. And children, some examples of colorless and colored ions are given. First we talk about the colorless positive ions, that is cations. So all the colorless cations are ammonium ion, sodium ion, potassium ion, calcium ion, magnesium ion, aluminium ion and lead and zinc ion. And children, all the negative ion which are colorless, that is anions which are colorless, are chloride ions, sulfate ions, carbonate ions, nitrate ions, hydrogen carbonate ions, sulfide ions, bromide ions and acetate ions. And children, all the ions which are colored, positive ions which are colored, that is cations, are cupric ion which is blue in color, ferrous ion which is light green in color, ferric ion which is yellowish or reddish brown in color. Then nickel iron is green in color, chromium ion green in color, manganese ion pink in color. Then negative ions or anions which are colored are permanganate ions which are pink or purple, dichromate ion orange color, chromate ion which is yellow in color. Now children, action of alkalis on metal cations results in the formation of their hydroxides, which often appears as precipitate. Now children, when we talk about precipitate or precipitation is the process of formation of an insoluble solid when solutions are mixed. The solid thus formed is called precipitate, and only those compounds form precipitates which are insoluble in water. This actually means children, when a chemical reaction takes place between two soluble compounds and an insoluble compound is formed, or a solid is formed, then that is called as a precipitate, and this type of reactions are called as precipitation reaction. Now children, action of sodium hydroxide solution on certain metallic salts. When sodium hydroxide, that is caustic soda solution, is added drop by drop to a solution of metallic salt, the metal hydroxide formed get precipitated. Color of the precipitate identifies the metal ion. Some precipitated metallic hydroxide dissolves in excess of sodium hydroxide solution to give soluble compound. So children, here is a chart given for the identification of some metal ions. First is the calcium ion. The calcium ion is Ca plus 2. So here any calcium salt, that is calcium nitrate, when is reacted with sodium hydroxide, it gives us calcium hydroxide, which is a precipitate, and children, this is a white precipitate. So a white precipitate is formed and sodium nitrate is also formed, which is colorless. So children, this white PPT, if you dissolve excess of NaOH, this excess of NaOH does not dissolve in this white precipitate, or it sparingly or very slightly it is dissolved. So this ion can be detected by this reaction. So when we add NaOH to any solution of containing a calcium ion, then a white PPT of calcium hydroxide is formed. Then children, iron. And as you all know children, iron exhibit in two valencies, ferrous and ferric. So both these give different colors. Ferrous ion, when reacts with sodium hydroxide, gives you ferrous hydroxide, which is dirty green in color, and a colorless sodium sulfate is formed. And children, this dirty green PPT is insoluble in excess of NaOH. So if you add excess of NaOH, this dirty green PPT does not dissolve. Then ferric salt, any compound containing the ferric salt when dissolved in NaOH, sodium hydroxide, it gives you ferric hydroxide, and children, this is reddish brown PPT. So you can identify it by the reddish brown PPT, a precipitate which is formed, and children, sodium chloride, that is colorless solution, is also formed, and this reddish brown PPT of ferric hydroxide is insoluble in excess of NaOH, children. Then next is children, copper salt. This copper salt, or any compound containing the copper metal, that is copper sulfate, it reacts with the sodium hydroxide to give you pale blue PPT of copper hydroxide. So children, you can identify the copper salt by the pale blue PPT, and children, if you add excess of NaOH, this pale blue PPT does not dissolve. Then children, the next salt we have to identify is the zinc salt. So zinc sulfate, when we add NaOH to it, it forms zinc hydroxide, which is white gelatinous PPT. White gelatinous PPT means it is a PPT with of a gel nature. So you can see the gel nature PPT is there. But children, when you add excess of NaOH, this gelatinous PPT dissolves and it forms a compound called sodium zincate. So with a little bit of NaOH, it forms white gelatinous PPT of zinc hydroxide, and with excess of NaOH, it forms a colorless solution of sodium zincate. So with excess of NaOH, the white PPT, the white gelatinous PPT dissolves. Then children, next is lead. Any lead salt can be identified when you add the sodium hydroxide. It gives you a white PPT of lead hydroxide. This white PPT is of chalky nature. So we can say that it is a chalky white PPT. And children, this chalky white PPT, it dissolves in excess of NaOH. So excess of NaOH, if you add more NaOH to it, it dissolves to give you a colorless solution of sodium plumbite, that is Na2PbO2. This white PPT of lead hydroxide is readily soluble in acetic acid also. Then children, ammonium salt, any ammonium salt, that is ammonium chloride, ammonium sulfate, or any other salt of ammonium, when reacts with NaOH, it gives you a salt water in ammonia gas. This ammonia gas can be identified by its peculiar pungent smell and by other chemical test also. So children, all these tests which we have done with NaOH, they can also be done by QH, that is by potassium hydroxide. Now children, the next test we are going to do is with ammonium hydroxide. Children, as NaOH is a strong alkali, ammonium hydroxide is a weak alkali. So when ammonium hydroxide solution is added drop wise to the solution of metallic salt, precipitates of their hydroxides are formed, which are identified by their distinct color, and some precipitated metallic hydroxides are soluble in excess of ammonium hydroxide because of the formation of soluble amino compounds on further reaction with excess of ammonium hydroxide. Now, so first test we are going to do is for the calcium salt. Now children, for calcium salt, no precipitation occurs even with addition of excess of ammonium hydroxide, and this is because the concentration of hydroxide ions formed by the ionization of ammonium hydroxide is very low, that it cannot precipitate the hydroxides of calcium salt. So children, calcium does not gives you any precipitate with ammonium hydroxide. Now children, with iron, as we know that iron exists in two forms, ferrous and ferric. So the ferrous ion on reaction with ammonium hydroxide gives you ferrous hydroxide, which is dirty green, and ammonium sulfate is formed. This dirty green precipitate is insoluble in excess of ammonium hydroxide. Similarly children, ferric salt, when reacts with ammonium hydroxide, it gives you reddish brown PPT of ferric hydroxide, which is again insoluble in excess of ammonium hydroxide. Now children, for copper salt, this is a very important reaction. In copper salt or copper sulfate, when reacts with ammonium hydroxide, it gives you first pale blue PPT of copper hydroxide. But children, this pale blue PPT of copper hydroxide reacts with excess of ammonium hydroxide, and it forms a compound called tetraamine copper hydroxide, and water is formed. And children, this compound is very deep blue in color, so it is called the ink solution also. So the copper sulfate or the copper ion, when reacts with ammonium hydroxide, first form the pale blue PPT of copper hydroxide, then it reacts with excess of ammonium hydroxide to form tetraamine copper hydroxide. So children, this reaction is a very special reaction. Then with zinc sulfate or zinc ion reacts with ammonium hydroxide to give you white gelatinous PPT of zinc hydroxide, and this white PPT of gelatinous white PPT of zinc hydroxide reacts with excess of ammonium hydroxide and ammonium sulfate to give you tetraamine zinc sulfate, which is colorless solution. So children, this compound first a precipitate is formed, and then that precipitate is soluble in excess of ammonium hydroxide. Then children, with lead nitrate, when reacts with ammonium hydroxide, or any lead salt reacts with ammonium hydroxide to give you a chalky white PPT of lead hydroxide, and this is also insoluble, that means excess of ammonium hydroxide does not dissolve the white PPT. So children, here we have seen the reaction of some salts with ammonium hydroxide as well as with hydroxide. Now we come to the action of alkalis on certain metals. Certain metal like zinc, aluminum and lead, reacts with hot concentrated caustic alkalis, that is NaOH or KOH, so to give the corresponding soluble salts and liberate hydrogen. So children, zinc reacts with NaOH and KOH to give you sodium zincate and hydrogen. Zinc reacts with potassium hydroxide to give you potassium zincate and hydrogen. And in the same way, aluminum reacts with sodium hydroxide and water to give you sodium meta-aluminate and hydrogen. Aluminum also reacts with potassium hydroxide and water to give you potassium meta-aluminate plus hydrogen. Aluminum also reacts with fused alkali to produce sodium aluminate and hydrogen. So children, these are the reactions being given by these alkalis. And lead also reacts with sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide to give you sodium plumbite and potassium plumbite plus hydrogen. So children, here we see that three metals, that is zinc, aluminum and lead, they also react with these alkalis to give you hydrogen. The other reaction which we have seen is that metal reacts with acids to give you salt and hydrogen, but this is a special case with these three metals. Now children, we come to the action of alkalis on metal oxides. So oxides of most of the metals are basic in nature. They dissolve in water, forming hydroxides or alkalis. These metal oxides and hydroxide neutralizes acid but do not react with bases. So any metal, that is sodium metal or any other metal, when their oxides reacts with water, they form their corresponding hydroxides. And children, these oxides also reacts with acids to form salt and water, as the example is shown over here, that sodium oxide reacts with water to give you sodium hydroxide. Sodium oxide reacts with an acid HCl to give you salt NaCl and water. NaOH, that is a sodium hydroxide, reacts with HCl to give you NaCl plus water. But a few metallic oxide and hydroxide exhibit dual character, that is they show acidic as well as they show basic nature, and they are said to be amphoteric. Then these three, the metals of zinc, lead and aluminum, children, they show this amphoteric oxide. For example, zinc oxide and zinc hydroxide react both with acids and concentrated alkalis, forming salt and water. So zinc oxide reacts with HCl also to give you salt, zinc chloride and water. And zinc oxide also reacts with NaOH to give you salt, sodium zincate and water. The same thing is zinc hydroxide reacts with HCl, acid, to give you salt, zinc chloride and water. In the same way, zinc hydroxide also reacts with NaOH to give you sodium zincate, a salt and water. So amphoteric oxides and hydroxides are those compounds which reacts both with acids as well as alkalis to form salt and water. So the other examples given over there for amphoteric oxides and hydroxides are, children, zinc oxide and zinc hydroxide, they reacts with NaOH and KOH to give you salt and water. So zinc oxide reacts with NaOH to give you sodium zincate and water. Zinc hydroxide reacts with the sodium hydroxide to give you sodium zincate and water. In the same way, zinc oxide reacts with potassium hydroxide to give you potassium zincate and water. Zinc hydroxide reacts with potassium hydroxide to give you potassium zincate and water. Then aluminum oxide and aluminum hydroxide. Aluminum oxide reacts with NaOH to give you sodium meta-aluminate and water. Aluminum hydroxide reacts with NaOH to give you sodium meta-aluminate and water. The same thing is with KOH also. And children, you can see with lead oxide and lead hydroxide also, NaOH and KOH reacts to give you sodium plumbite and water. So these are reacting because they are having an amphoteric nature. So children, since these are some special cases, so you have to learn them separately also. So children, rest of this chapter we'll do in the laboratory, where we'll be doing these tests and we'll be finding out the different precipitates which are occurring with different colors, and we'll be analyzing all these ions. Thank you very much. Hope you have followed this chapter.